friend. This is our heyday, baby. We're not gonna be afraid to shout. Make our heyday last forever. Ain't no one is all about living our own terrible way. So we took a little snuff, the sound, something a little mystic, a little time for our hearts together with each other. And we're on to try it, time for one another. Yes, we fool around now and again, oh look at you, just as red. This is our heyday, baby. We're not gonna be afraid to shout. We'll make our heyday last forever. Ain't no one is all about living our own terrible way. This is our heyday, baby. This is our heyday, baby.
Oh no, you're fine. I'm just very short.
Hang on a second, I just need to do that. Okay, should be good.
Fabulous. Okay. Just a little bit, I think.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much to our musician, Jerry Sloan, for setting the tone for today. We're going to have a great one. If everybody could please take their seats, we're going to begin the State of the Broadway District 2026. Thank you so much.
All right, good morning, everyone. Good morning. We are a chatty bunch this morning. I love it. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started here this morning. My name is Mary Rohde, Vice President of Marketing and Communications for On Broadway, and thank you so much for joining this year's State of the Broadway event here in the beautiful Broadway District of downtown Green Bay. Certainly welcome to those here in person, and also welcome to those who are joining us virtually this morning as well. On Broadway, Inc. is a 501c3 nonprofit organization whose mission is to promote the Broadway District as Green Bay's cultural core for entrepreneurs, creatives, residents, and visitors to engage and succeed in a welcoming environment. 2025 brought us our 30th year of bringing public art, urban design elements, activation, and of course, plenty of smiles to the Broadway District here on the west side of downtown Green Bay. Our entire team works hard every day to continue our mission, and we hope that you'll see the many beautiful stories that were told in 2025 on the pages of our annual report, which you'll find in your goodie bags, or you can scan the QR code here on the screen. For virtual attendees, you will find the link to the annual report in the live event comments. Now, please give a warm welcome to City of Green Bay Mayor Eric Enrick to say a few words this morning.
All right. Well, thanks, Mary. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to downtown Green Bay. Welcome to the On Broadway District. Thanks so much for coming out. I'm really looking forward to the presentation, as always, and really just wanted to congratulate On Broadway on another very successful year. This is a long-standing partnership between the City of Green Bay and On Broadway, really going back, I think, multiple decades, over 30 years at this point. Paul Jaden, Nalita Burr, a lot of folks. Our new executive director of our chamber, Laura Fritz, was here at the beginning. But a long-standing partnership between the city and On Broadway, and just feel very fortunate to be able to work with a fantastic team in Brian and Mary and so many other folks. The board is fantastic and has demonstrated great leadership all throughout, and we've got a lot going on. Obviously, Brian's going to walk us through what's in the works, but if you go down from Drop Forge all the way up to Lake Park, there's so much happening. The little coal piles in the middle there. Tremendous potential of redevelopment in our downtown, on our waterfront. So a lot of things big and small that are on the horizon, but also a lot to celebrate just in this past year. We had a little gathering known as the NFL Draft in 2025. Thanks to the partnership between On Broadway, Downtown Green Bay, so many other folks, we were able to make that a great success, to welcome so many people from all around the world into our community, and also just to make it a great experience for those that live in this community. So that was fantastic. Obviously had a great time with that. Was a real benefit to the city of Green Bay. But looking forward, we also have some huge events on the horizon. A little bit of a birthday party for America coming up on July 4th, our 250th. So oftentimes we gather in downtown Green Bay for the Fire Over the Fox, but this one's going to be bigger and better than ever. And again, because of that relationship that exists between the city and our bids, On Broadway in particular. And then also we're going to be welcoming the Badgers and Notre Dame in September. And there's going to be a lot of excitement around that. So much to be grateful for back in this previous year, 2025, and also a ton to look forward to in 2026. And so just very grateful to On Broadway as an organization, all of our fantastic businesses in downtown Green Bay and in this bid in particular. So a lot of gratitude to you all, to everybody that has made this a successful year, and everybody that will come together to make it a great 2026. So with that, I'll turn things back over to Mary. Thanks so much for having me, and have a great day.
All right, thank you so much, Mayor. We greatly appreciate this partnership with the city, and we've done great things in the past and look forward to continuing those amazing events to enhance downtown. Now please welcome the Broadway District Business Improvement District Board President and On Broadway's Board President, Linda Bova, who will be our MC for the day.
I'm pretty clumsy, so I'm gonna hopefully not fall off. And that picture needs to be replaced. We talked about this last year, so it's like, oh my goodness. All right, good morning, and thank you so much for joining us today. It's wonderful to see so many people here who care so deeply about the Broadway District. Before we begin, please join me in thanking Jerry Sloan for the wonderful music played during our networking time this morning. The growth of the Broadway District is a direct reflection of this community. People who care, invest, and take pride in where they live and work. Because of that shared commitment, the district continues to thrive. As we look ahead to the next 30 years, we're excited to keep moving forward together. As a nonprofit organization, On Broadway Inc. relies on the generosity of our community to keep the district clean, safe, and activated with events throughout the year. If you choose to support us today, your donation is 100% tax deductible and truly makes a difference. You'll find several easy ways to give by scanning the QR code on the screen or in your program, using the table cards, or simply by placing your donation into one of the envelopes available at your table or at the check-in table. For those joining us virtually, the donation link is in the event description. Thank you in advance for your generous support. As a Wisconsin and National Main Street program, we're grateful for the strong partnerships we share with our elected officials and their continued support of the Broadway District. I'd now like to recognize those joining us today. Please hold your applause until all names are read. Representative Ryan Spouty, Green Bay Mayor Eric Genrich, John Foss with Senator Ron Johnson's office, Stephen Glitzer Brown with Representative Ahmad Rivera Wagner's office, Mark Dunning with Senator Tammy Baldwin's office, Senator Jamie Wall, Brown County Executive Troy Streckenbach, Green Bay Alders Melinda Eck, Alyssa Prophet, and Kathy Hinkfus, Carl Wakaitis with Governor Tony Evers' office, and Brown County Board Member Megan Burchard. Please join me in thanking them for their continued support. Thank you to our presenting sponsor, American National Bank Fox Cities. We're also grateful for our supporting sponsors, Hager, DeWitt, Ziegler Law Firm, Lucid Integrated Systems, Visance Insurance, and Broadway District businesses, Hawkins Ash CPAs, Creative Results Apex Real Estate Team, and Liberty Title. Special thanks to the Broadway District businesses who helped make this event possible. Gather for hosting us in this beautiful space. Tommy, you and your team do a fantastic job every year. Pedal Pusher for the lovely centerpieces, Copper State Brewing Company for the coffee, Bonafide Juicery and 5 Thumbs Up for the delicious food, Harmonic Productions for AV and sound, and LiveX for live streaming support. Applause. I'd also like to recognize the Broadway Business Improvement District Board of Directors, and special thanks to our district property owners for their continued investment in the district. If you are a member of the Broadway Bid Board and are with us today, please stand up to be recognized. As a 501c3 nonprofit, On Broadway Inc. is governed by a dedicated board of directors. If there are any board members in attendance today, please stand to be recognized. Next, please join me in recognizing our outgoing OBI board and bid board members for their service to the Broadway District. From the Broadway Bid Board, Greg Bannock, who is joining us virtually today. Greg was appointed by Mayor Eric Genrich and has served on the Broadway Business Improvement District Board since 2018. He co-owns several properties and businesses in the district. Since Greg's appointment, the Bid Board has become a reliable and stable partner with On Broadway, overseeing the district's annual special assessment and ensuring the board is a wise steward to our property owners' investments. And from On Broadway Board of Directors, Drew Carney with Whitfleet, who is unable to join us today, and Brad Toll, President and CEO of Discover Green Bay. Drew served as a board treasurer, and his dedication and steady support over the past formative years have been instrumental to On Broadway and impactful to the Broadway District. Brad joined the board in 2020 and has been a strong advocate for Broadway District businesses. He brought passion, perspective, and a clear commitment to the future of the district, and we sincerely thank him for his time, energy, and meaningful contributions. We are grateful to all of you and your leadership and vision. Brad, please join me on stage to accept a small token of our appreciation. I have to get down on the stairs here.
Wasn't expecting that. Thank you. That's our token. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. Now it is my pleasure to welcome Paul Northway, President and CEO of American National Bank Fox Cities, and today's presenting sponsor. Please join me in welcoming Paul to the stage.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Do you need that?
I think I will. I can.
Okay.
Yeah. Good morning. How's everybody doing? All right. On behalf of everyone at the bank, I want to tell you how honored we are to once again be a part of this event. You know, it's not just about being a sponsor, but we really do view it as an investment in our downtown, in the district, helping influence the energy of downtown, and most importantly, in all the small businesses and the entrepreneurs who live and work down here and make this place happen. Downtowns truly do matter. They matter economically, they matter culturally, and they matter emotionally, because quite honestly, they are where communities happen. And when small businesses thrive, our entire community thrives. So to the business owners in the room, thank you. You are the risk takers, the job creators, the ones who open the doors early and close them late. You carry the weight of making payroll, competition, supply chain challenges, and technology shifts, and you still show up every day. Much respect. Thank you. Right now, it can feel like there are 100 things demanding your attention as a small business owner. Consumer sentiments, social media noise, artificial intelligence, politics, heck, national headlines that change by the hour. It's easy to feel distracted. It's easy to feel that you're being reactive, not proactive. So what should you focus on? Let me share some thoughts. Focus on your customers, not the noise, your customers. What do they value? What problems are you solving for them? And what experiences do you create that they cannot get anywhere else? Second, focus on cash flow and fundamentals. In uncertain times, discipline wins. Strong margins, strong service, strong relationships. The basics are not boring, they're just powerful. Third, focus on your people. Your team will determine whether you simply survive or whether you grow. Focus on them, invest in them. Communicate clearly, build culture intentionally. What should we all discard with all this noise in the world right now? How about discard
the constant comparison to everyone else. Discard the paralysis that comes from trying to predict every macro headline. And discard the idea that growth has to look like someone else's version of success. Stay focused on you, your business, your team. Small business has always been about adaptability, and it's about deeply rooted relationships in your community, and that is your advantage. I want you to know your local bank believes in you. We believe in downtown, and we believe in the community's future. Because when you win, we all win. I want to thank you again for allowing us the opportunity to be a part of this event, to be a part of this downtown. Enjoy the morning.
Who's up?
All right. This is the exciting time of the morning where we get to give away a few awards. Let's just find where we are here. All right, so my name is Brooke Hafes. I am the Vice President of Donor Engagement.
My name is Fatma, and I'm the Diversity and Business Support Manager for the Broadway District.
All right, and it is our pleasure this morning to present this year's Volunteer of the Year Award. So if everyone would give us a little drum roll, please.
We are so excited again to announce this year's winner is Mainu Vang.
Mainu has the true spirit of a volunteer through her extraordinary commitment, leadership, and willingness to step into very unconventional roles that elevate our entire organization. Mainu, congratulations.
She consistently goes above and beyond, lending her talents wherever they are needed most. Her impacts include translating Hmong farmers market vendor application to ensure accessibility and inclusion, leading the Hmong Music Festival at our 11th AMP Green Bay Music Series 2026, and serving as an active member at Levitt and Hype team to help us engage diverse diverse audiences across our community.
In addition, she led trash pickup efforts at 3 of our farmers markets. Not the most glamorous job, so we really appreciate when people step in for those roles. She also brought creativity and cultural celebration into our space by leading a pop-up Hmong fashion show down the very center of our farmers market, which was really cool to see, and people really enjoyed that. Her passion, initiative, and commitment to community connection make her an exceptional volunteer and a truly deserving candidate for Volunteer of the Year. Please give her one more round of applause.
Congrats, Mainu.
All right, next up to announce our next award, I'll welcome to the stage Brian Johnson, on Broadway's President and CEO, and the namesake of our next award, former Green Bay Mayor Paul Jaden. Give them a round of applause, please.
Thank you, sir. Okay, can you guys hear me? Good? Okay, thank you, Paul, for being here. First off, this award was created a few years ago by the staff at On Broadway. Initially, it was called the Broadway Impact Award. We always knew we wanted to rename it, but we just wanted to have the right namesake. In the second year, Paul was the recipient and the namesake as we started to reflect on the impact that he's had on the district, not only as his time as mayor, but as his roles changed with the chamber and then ultimately with WDC. He continued to have an impact not only on the Broadway District, but the Main Street community as a whole. So thank you, Paul, for everything that you've done for the Broadway District, and of course the things that you're doing today, now that you're retired and back here again. This year's recipient, again, this is a staff-selected award. So this year's recipient is no stranger to probably most of you in this room here. They started with humble beginnings, really serving their product at a lot of the farmers markets in this area, including the farmers market on Broadway. After a couple of years of doing that, building a customer base, they made a decision to invest here in the Broadway District, and they were in that space for a few years not only operating their business, growing their business, but mentoring other businesses, always stepping in to help when needed, whether it was volunteering with some of the events that we do or their expertise. They were incredibly loyal to their customers were incredibly loyal to them. They educated their customers around the need for a product that you didn't even know you needed. And I know they listened to their customers because when I asked them to put a grilled cheese on the menu, they did it. And, but more importantly, they helped refine my palate to appreciate some of the finer things that they make. And when they outgrew their space, they made the decision to stay here in the Broadway District, even though they were probably cheaper and more affordable options for them to grow their business, because they wanted to continue to stay here and have that greater impact that goes beyond just selling their product, but really helps create impact here in our community. So with that, and true to form, by the way, we had 3 prior winners of this award. Matt Buchanan was the first, Paul Jaden, Paul Belschner. Nobody has ever been present for this award. And so, so unfortunately they are not here, but to accept the award on their behalf, we would like to, it's Courtney. Courtney's here. Okay, so Courtney for Ben and Celeste Cadman of Voyager's Bakehouse. So Courtney, yep. And if you guys have ever been there, you know that Courtney is always there with a smile, providing exceptional service. And if you haven't been there, please, please go experience it. Yep. Thank you, Paul. Do I have to play it or does it go? Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Celeste.
And I'm Ben.
From Voyager's Bakehouse, and we just wanted to take a moment to thank you for recognizing us with this award. We want to thank On Broadway and the community for seeing our investment and commitment to the district and what it means for the district.
Yeah, 2018 when I started baking bread, I couldn't have imagined this is where we would have ended up. And in 2019 when I started to sell at the farmers market and we were looking for our downtown location, I really wanted to be downtown Green Bay, and the Broadway District had our hearts, and we're so glad that this is our home.
Yeah, it is so important to us to be able to take our impact and be able to bring it to an area like the Broadway District. We are so grateful for each and every person who decides to come in and share their time and space with us, and we hope that we will continue to provide a space for connection and good food and excellent sourdough for many, many years to come. Yeah. So thank you again.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so for those of you who have been to this event before, one of the reasons that we're doing the awards in the beginning is because I always talk way too long. And then, unfortunately, a lot of folks have to leave. So not only did I promise to tighten it up this year, but we wanted to shift and really celebrate our award winners while all of you were here to really kind of see sort of the modeling the way, as it were, of what they're doing here in our district. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I am Brian Johnson with On Broadway. I have the pleasure of leading this amazing team here. I know you have met most of them, Mary, Brooke, and Fatma, but I also want to acknowledge Molly and Quincy, who are both in the back, if you guys could raise your hand. And of course, so many people make the district what it is, and we do not do this alone. And with that, we'll get into that a little bit. Because my time frame is going to be tightened a little bit, it is not possible for me to share all of the great things that are going on here in the district, so we're going to try to hit the high-level ones, and if I talk fast, you know why. Forgive me, but let's first set the stage. So we are a designated Main Street program. These are the Main Street programs that exist in the state of Wisconsin. I also want to acknowledge Downtown Green Bay, who is not only a great partner of ours, but they are what's called a Connect community. So it's a slightly different tier within the Main Street program. They won't be on that map, but they are also part of the program, and obviously an organization we partner with. By virtue of our membership there, we are part of the Wisconsin Main Street program and also the National Main Street program. And we also have this sort of ancillary Broadway bid. So that is a separate board that oversees the special assessments in the district, but we work very closely with them and very grateful for their support as well. As part of the National Main Street Framework, for 40 to 50 years, this is a tried, tested, and true formula that if you do these 4 things, you will create a successful and healthy downtown. These 4 pillars, organization, economic vitality, design, and promotion, all are meant to strike at the heart of something slightly different, and it's making sure that our transformation strategy and our work plans every year are equitably distributed amongst these 4 pillars. This just gives you a little bit of a visual of where the Broadway District is. We are the west side, the purple on the left-hand side. Downtown Green Bay is the gray, and then Old Main Street. Those are your 3 downtown districts. Downtown Green Bay oversees Old Main and downtown. We're on Broadway, but we work, again, very collaboratively and closely together. So we're going to go through some of the highlights, a little bit of maybe some of the successes we had last year, but then a little bit of looking forward. So on the organization side, this is our board of directors. We did recently appoint a few new faces as well. One of those, Celeste Cadman, that you just heard from. Ingrid Parker Hill. I don't know if I saw Ingrid. She is here. Yep, in the back there you are, Ingrid. Welcome to the organization. We just appointed James Nick last night. Did I miss anyone else? Sorry, it's hard when you're going from memory. But they won't be up here because this is our 25 board of directors, but these are the folks that led our organization last year. And so thank you to these individuals for really stepping up and providing the leadership that our organization needs. And then of course, I mentioned our staff who really provide the services day to day of everything that we do. And they are an incredible team, very fortunate to have them. I didn't mention Rob. Rob is our part-time property manager, but just a man of many skills and really kind of takes care of a lot of things on the maintenance side within the district, whether it's picking up trash, fixing banners on the dog park, whatever it might be. He's just really handy and great to have around. As part of our organization, we also run a very healthy volunteer program. And this past year, we had over 700 unique volunteers that provided nearly 4,500 hours of volunteer time, and I guarantee that that number is underreported. Because volunteers, oftentimes, they just show up and they do it. They don't think to give you the number. This is what we've reported. Who knows what that number really is, but it's big. And it's incredibly meaningful to the work that we do. That has a cash equivalent of $156,000 a year. There's a formula that National provides for that. And we do a number of things with them. They're involved in our governance, our board of directors, our committees. They help make decisions in terms of what we are doing. They volunteer at events, but they also get their hands dirty in the district. As Brooke alluded to, picking up trash is not the most glamorous thing, but I promise you, if our volunteers were not out there picking up trash, as they do very frequently, the district would not look as good as it does. And it is so encouraging when you hear visitors who come here who say, you know, gosh, I visit a lot of downtowns and your downtown is so clean. That is exactly what you want to hear from somebody who is visiting here. They also help us with business support initiatives, taking care of other maintenance things, and special projects. In fact, I have somebody right now who's working on some historical markers because he just has a passion for that. So we always will work with volunteers who want to give back but maybe don't know exactly what to do. We'll work with you to find a project. One of the things that we're very proud of is for 2 years in a row now, and the only 2 years that it's existed, we are a gold tier nationally accredited Main Street program. There were only 9 programs in the state of Wisconsin that reached that gold tier status, and we've been very fortunate to achieve that both years, and we should achieve that again this 3rd year coming up. We just had our accreditation meeting last night. The other thing that I wanted to point out is that we are the state's winningest program for the State Main Street Awards. And that's not just what we do as a program, it's what our businesses do, it's what our property owners do. So we have a lot of wonderful partners that play a part in that, and we won several prestigious awards last year. We've got a couple more coming up this year that we're not allowed to share yet. That is still under wraps, but we're going to be really excited to share that with you when we're able to. The next pillar is design. Design talks about a number of things. I want you to, the National Main Street Program actually was created by the National Historic Preservation for Trust. And one of the reasons they created this program and why they continue to be the parent organization is because who has the most old buildings? Downtowns. And so partnering with downtowns made the most sense for them. And as a result, historic preservation becomes one of those key priorities that we work on. Within our downtown, we do have 3 historic districts. We are a certified local government, which provides access to a number of resources for us to ensure that we're doing the work to help preserve buildings, but also recognizing that there needs to be some fluidity and allow them to breathe with time. And so we're very thankful for our Landmarks Commission here locally that works with many of our property owners to preserve those old buildings. We also work on urban design. ISG is one of our great partners, and Danielle is on our board, but we really take a look at all kinds of things within the right-of-way, the roads, just how do you make a downtown feel good and also function. District maintenance is a big part of what happens with design. So when graffiti shows up on the poles, when somebody puts a bunch of tape on the light poles, broken glass or bottles, trash, right? Those are the things that our team and our volunteers go out and clean up and pick up almost every day. We also work on streetscape designs and public art initiatives. And I actually went back and I crunched the numbers. This is one of those things that just popped in my mind. Like, I wonder, and over the last 10 years, we have spent more than $1 million on direct payments to artists here in our community. And so that was a number that I was really proud to see. And that funding, a lot of times you think of artists, right? You might think of murals, but keep in mind the way that artists are defined. They are your musicians, they are your poets, they might be muralists or sculptors, photographers that we hire to take pictures at our events to retain those photos for posterity. So there's a lot of ways that we work with artists here in our community, and we're very encouraged, not only unexpected, I don't want to say unexpected, but it's just the number even surprised me a little bit. So very encouraged to see that we're really putting our money where our mouth is and making sure that our artists are thriving, because they are truly what make incredible, unique, and distinct communities. And as part of that, one of those new things that came to life this year was this Milwaukee Brewers mural, which is on the back of the Herkman Mechanical Building. Our artist, Andrew Linskins, and the Milwaukee Brewers actually funded that. And we worked with our Landmarks Commission and some other folks to really kind of get this thing in place. So if you haven't been back there, please check it out. There are now over 50 murals in the Broadway District, and if you go to downtowngreenbay.com, you can actually get access to a mural walk. So, if you're looking to burn a few hours on a Saturday, come on down, get lunch, grab a cup of coffee, and just go for a stroll. One of the things that we're also working on that we're looking to finalize this year, in partnership with ISG and Downtown Green Bay, are design standards for our downtown. This we identified as an opportunity to really help elevate the experience that visitors have down here. One of the things that really drew attention to it for me was not only seeing what other communities do, it's always the little things, right? But if you ever take a walk around downtown, you have all black light poles. And there was one that was damaged by a vehicle, and the one that replaced it was a yellow light pole. And so it really sticks out, right? And it's noticeable. We have probably 10 different street light fixtures that exist down here. And so the point with design standards is to create some level of uniformity so that you can create a really sort of well-kept, maintained downtown, but also you're curating that experience that you want your visitors to have. And that becomes a really important piece of when you visit sort of those exceptional downtowns from the average ones. It oftentimes is rooted in what that streetscape design looks like. This was a part of what we also worked on. This is not complete, full disclaimer, and we actually have 3 different versions of it, but because I can't talk for an hour, I just wanted to give you a sampling of one. And this is, we affectionately refer to it as the Red Sculpture Park here in the corner. It lacks a name, so we'll have to work on that. But we wanted to say, hey, what other use could that public space have? And one of the things is we wanted to see a little bit more adaptability with that space right now. Right now, it kind of has sort of a one option. And that one option is maybe sit on the sculpture. So we said, hey, if you build something that looked a little bit differently, that had some interesting features, but also maybe had a water feature built in. You can see that's a Woonurf designed street along Hubbard. You can see sort of that back-in parking in the upper right-hand corner there that's becoming more and more popular in other communities. So ISG worked with us to create this. We have a few other options as well, and we're likely going to merge some different features of all of them before we finalize the plan. But it really helps us visualize what public spaces can do for our community. But more importantly then, when you have a space like this, how do you placemake it? How do you activate it and do different things with it throughout the week? The La Bay Loop is also one of those things that we rolled out this past year as a pilot program. And it was recognizing that when you cross the bridges and do a loop through downtown, it's exactly 1 mile. And there's an inner loop and an outer loop. And it's really, we're working on a more permanent plan, but we did some sort of temporary interventions last year just to see how people would react to it. And now we're working on a more permanent plan with our partners at Downtown Green Bay to make that something much like the Indianapolis Cultural Trail, if you've ever seen that, but it's something that's branded and just encourages people to walk that. This I wanted to put up here because it sort of captures or reflects a new program that we're going to launch this year with the support of the Business Improvement District. We were in Philadelphia last year for the National Main Street Conference, and it's one of those things where you visit a lot of communities and, I don't know, you see the same things, but for some reason this day just struck me. And in particular, it was the photo on the bottom right when I was walking down that street. And it was this like aha moment that if you've ever been in Philadelphia, it is an incredible walkable experience. And the thing that I noticed, the common thread, if you will, was the level of street activation, the sidewalk activation. Whether it was the plantings, the tables and chairs, the swings, the rocks, the wayfinding signage. This was actually a really cool thing on all the light poles. These signs were made by artists. So it just brought some color and life into the space. It was unique to that neighborhood. And it was really that streetscape activation that made that place so special and made you want to walk it, made you want to spend time there. And so we're going to launch a micro grant program this year, working with our business and property owners that's intended to provide a matching grant that if they make an investment in their streetscape, that we will partially match up to a limit to help encourage this type of investment on our sidewalks. And part of that as well, we are also, they funded an intern. We actually have categorized it as an intern or perhaps an art residency for somebody that will work directly with businesses because maybe they want to make the investment, but they don't know quite what to do. And then bringing that creative spirit to the table to help problem solve around different options. So that's going to be a new program that we're going to roll out this year. On the promotion side, we do over 50 events a year. 500,000 attendees. One of the numbers that really struck us actually is outside of events, even the total visitors that come to the district every year. Last year was 732,000 unique visitors to the district, and it's in the annual report. I think it was 2.8 million maybe annual visits to the district. A lot of people visit the Broadway District every single year. And that's using placer data, so it pings your phone. And it's really incredible to see, I mean, the number of people that come for events, but also for all of the other things that our businesses offer down here. So this just gives you a little sampling of the different events that we do throughout the year. A little bit, I'm going to just hit on the big ones real quickly. So Farmers Market on Broadway has been going on for a number of years. It is sort of our mainstay, our big one that attracts 250,000 people every year and is incredibly important to stabilizing our organization. The funding that is generated through that event really is what allows us to provide the services that we offer throughout the year to our businesses. As part of that program, we launched this Mini Boss program a couple of years ago. This past year, we did it. It's in the Red Sculpture Park area. We extended the number of weeks because we've just had so many kids that have been interested in it. This year, Ingrid, we're going to be knocking on your door to help us reach the kids in the neighborhood because we really want to make sure that we're cultivating that next generation of entrepreneurs. So this is mission. This isn't just something that's warm and fuzzy to do. It's mission important for us because you want to create a community where entrepreneurism is alive and well. And when you can foster that at an early age, especially in these neighborhoods where these kids live, it really kind of inspires and sort of lights that spark plug a little bit to get these kids out and going. And so this has been an incredibly successful program for us. And I think we're going to actually roll this out as well with our Chris Kindle Market. One of the things that we talk about, one of the reasons farmers markets exist oftentimes in downtowns is because you can be in a qualified food desert, and we're adjacent to 2 different food deserts, and so bringing fresh produce to the downtown becomes critically important, especially at a time when you have a lot of residential density growing down here. We are in the top 10 markets in the state of Wisconsin in terms of the amount of SNAP or EBT dollars that are redeemed. Very grateful to Schreiber and Brown County provided some grant dollars that helped us provide vouchers to our local shelters who can then shop the market and bring that fresh produce into their shelters. We serve 12 different shelters. We work with Wello on that Double Your Bucks program, so really grateful for their support and their partnership. $23,000 of EBT was redeemed at the market, and it's a full circle thing. Not only are you providing fresh products for those who need it, but you're guaranteeing $23,000 is being spent with the small businesses that are now in the market. So it's a really nice circular thing when this program works. We do the Double Your Bucks. So if you happen to be connected with anybody that uses EBT when they come down here, they can redeem $10 every week and get free $10. And there's a new program that we're going to be rolling out this year that might even double the double, if you will. So 11 Amp Music Series. This has been a really cool event that we've done the last couple of years. We haven't been very vocal about it, but we did receive a new 3-year grant award on this year. So this will be back for another 3 years. And this was the day that Manu, I think, was in charge. So awesome job with getting a huge churn out. Another thing that we did this past year was the Draft City Music Fest. Of course, the NFL Draft created some opportunities for us to do some programming to attract people downtown. So thanks to the city of Green Bay, who really helped kind of spark this idea and then provided some funding through ARPA and tourism grant dollars. We were able to do concerts on the shoulder dates, so the Wednesday and the Saturday. These were national headliners that really came here, folks that normally you're going to pay $50, $100 a ticket, and people got to see them for free here in Green Bay. And I thought that was a really cool thing to really give back to our community. I know the mayor talked about that a lot. You have visitors that came here, but we wanted to make sure that we were doing programming that also served the residents who lived here every day. And I think this really delivered on that. The mayor alluded to it, but our organization coordinates Festival Foods Fire Over the Fox every year, and of course the 250th anniversary is coming up this year, so watch for a future announcement on that. But the mayor's office as well has pulled together a really cool collaborative effort with a bunch of community partners to elevate that experience this year. And then our Chris Kindle Market expanded this year. We added Thursday nights. We just did a debrief to really talk about what worked, what didn't work, and we're really excited to be able to continue to grow the impact of this event. It's such an important time for our retail operators down here to see shoppers come down. And not only, this is the event that a lot of times attracts them, but we've seen that residual impact when those people then go shop our other businesses here in the district. And then new this year as well, you may have heard of a little game, Wisconsin versus Notre Dame, that will be coming to town in September. And so this is actually the pep rally that was hosted, who did they play back then? Was it? I think this was even before LSU, wasn't it, Brent? No, there's Brent. Yeah, Brent was behind this event, so we're going to recreate this magic. All right, economic vitality. So this was a big deal, the Unlocking Capital Grant. We were one of 6 organizations in the country that received this grant. That was funded by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, and it's administered by the National Main Street Program. It's a pilot program, so they're really looking at us and the other 5 programs to help dictate what this can look like into the future. We have taken more of a long-term approach on this, more of a 20-year approach, and we really kind of came into this with, we wanted to solve a problem, which was infill. It's not healthy for a downtown to have vacant parking lots. You want a parking strategy, but you want buildings on those lots. You want businesses in activation. But it's very expensive to build on those lots, those small lots, and that's why oftentimes you don't see that happen. But then more importantly, when it does happen, how do you get that rent per square foot to actually be something that a small business can afford? And so we're really trying to mesh all of this together, which includes training for retail businesses to lengthen their success. Obviously different types of funding, micro grants that can help. And the big thing that we talk about within our area is sales per square foot. because somebody will pay anything per square foot if the sales can support it. So if we're focused on sales per square foot, which means attracting more people, more activity, more shopping, we know that we can make this into a viable plan. So we're really excited about what we're working on with this, and sort of call this sort of our R&D and some of the things that we have in the pipeline that will be coming on this in the next couple of years. And then just a couple of, I don't know, these things were just exciting and fun. So this was the Badger sheet metal site that has now been torn down, and that is to make way for this building that is going to break ground this year. This combines a fire station with housing. The combination of these two things was critical. And you may have seen recently in the news, thanks to Senator Baldwin and Congressman Weed, $5 million was appropriated by the federal government to help fund the fire station, and that was a critical need. And so now we're going to be able to build the project that we need and not have to make reductions in the project in order to make it work. So the housing piece is going to be a really great addition, which also includes the retail on the first floor. The shipyard, this is brand new. So this is a project that obviously has been delayed for a variety of reasons, but phase 2 is going to break ground this year. It is a $9 million investment. It's the first time that you are going to see these renderings. Phase 1 was complete, and you can go there now. If you haven't been there, go check it out. It's wonderful. But phase 2 is what is coming up this year, and it's going to include the Great Lawn, the dog park, some beach volleyball courts, and some other amenities. So these are brand new. These have not been seen. So thank you to Parks Director Dan Ditchite, who provided these in advance of today, just to give you a little visual of how things are coming together from a design perspective. So just kind of flip through these. You can see it's really meant to be a highly amenitized park. And when the programming is paired with this, it's really meant to help, again, attract folks down here. We'll have that great lawn that you see there, which can be used for seating, for concerts and other activities. Dan, I think we can probably make these available afterwards, maybe. I don't want to commit, but for those that really want to kind of soak it in and take it in, once we get Dan's permission, hopefully we can be able to share those. And then the phase 3 part is to be determined. That is the container park, and it's just going to take a private investor or some other solution there once that comes together. Merge urban development, I know, is on the RDA agenda today, action pending I have there. But this was the proposal on that site. What is the proposal on that site? So pending what if the RDA wants to do a development amendment there or not. But it just shows, again, the need for housing in the district. The Fort at the Rail Yard opened this year after a number of years, and they're leasing up pretty quickly. They do have some retail spot on the corner, so if you know a retail operator, please connect them with us. We'd love to get that activated with the right type of use. I want to thank Fatma and her work with the Diverse Business Assistance Grant. That compliance period wrapped up here at the end of 25, but it provided $300,000 of micro grants to businesses in our district. And it is absolutely the tool that attracted businesses to open up here. And we've learned from that experience. And as part of that, Fatma connected those folks to training resources. We actually had training requirements so that we could increase the success rate of those businesses. But we learned from that, and it allowed us to actually model programs that we are going to create and fund now into the future. And that's one of the ways that when we look at the price per square foot in a retail space when it's not sustainable, this is the type of program that can help stabilize that or bring that down on the front end. And so we've got some programs, as I mentioned, that are going to backfill that. Just a couple of our recipients. I know Hansel's here, so thanks for coming on out, Hansel, but we appreciate your investment in the district. The Lake Park Pavilion project, we broke ground on this in the fall. On phase 1, and that really is what that big dirt pile is, and now it needed to settle until it reaches the right compaction level. Phase 2 will go in this year because the expenditure period is the end of the year, so it has to go in. And then on Broadway is raising funds for phase 3, which will be the stage and the waterfront stairs and some other site improvements, and that'll happen when the funding is all available. And so this is what that site plan looks like. Incredibly challenging site. So really grateful for ISG's partnership, who did this design to really make something work here. I won't get into all the details of why this is challenging, but it was hard, and there's a reason nobody's done it before. But I think this really came together nicely. This is something that's been out there but hasn't really been widely disseminated. And when you look at the pavilion, the building there, that's what will go in this summer. And so that beer garden that's on the outside, and of course use of the interior of the building will be available once that's complete. And then we'll still continue to activate the space until the funding for phase 3 is raised and we can do the permanent investment. I want to give a shout out to the rail yard folks that I know are here. That is just such an incredible investment. Remember, folks, that could have been a box store that really provided minimal accessible value to the district, and instead you get a place like this that is attracting people who live here, people who work here. Just beautiful, beautiful spaces. Brent said this to me one time, that when you tear these old buildings down, you never get them back. And it couldn't be more true. And so when you can preserve these things in time for another generation and have these really unique spaces, this is what this building looked like pre-construction. And then of course the way it looks now, that's the back, but if you get over there, it really looks just spectacular, and it's still a work in progress. Spaces is a co-working space on the first floor. You can rent an office there. So if anybody out there is looking for an office, please check them out. We can help connect you to the right folks. Just gives you a sense of what the interior of these buildings look like, because they are absolutely beautiful and incredible, and really appreciate their investment to continue to do these improvements. This is the last building over there that needs improvement, but there are a couple of vacant pieces of land as well. So if you're looking to build, you have that option down here as well. And then the last thing that we're going to talk about is Green Bay Public Market. So we recently did a presentation to the Redevelopment Authority, and I'm really just, it's the same thing. It's just a couple of slides because we understand that that's a limited audience and there's lots of questions around the public market and what's the status and when's it going to open. And the reality is, folks, these events are incredibly complicated and challenging, and I was going to make a joke out of it today with every development that I showed you. I was going to end with, and this project was delayed due to rising costs or other capital needs, because it's happening to every single project. Ours is no different. We were hoping we could have this thing open for the draft. That was kind of a big, hairy, audacious goal. We didn't meet it, and we understand that, but we tried. But now we have, I think, a pretty good plan for how to get there. And so notable dates, when we kind of made this, we announced it in January of 2022. We really worked with Gray, for our partner in RHG, on the architecture, engineering, design. Our lead gift from the Resch Foundation came March of 24, and then we said if we're going to have any opportunity to really have this thing open by the draft, we had to get in there and do the demolition, even though the capital stack wasn't fully pulled together, and that's what we did, and why we held the groundbreaking. And so you can see a few other things that happen there, but ultimately when you do these projects, you use your architectural estimates, and they're using the best information that they can have. The problem is prices escalated and skyrocketed so fast that even architectural estimates couldn't keep pace. And so when our hard bids came back, and we've been very open and transparent about this, the number came back over $4 million more than what we were expecting. And when you're in the private sector, you can write a bigger check, your equity check, you can go borrow more money, but when you're a nonprofit, you have to raise it. And anybody who's had to raise $4 million knows it's not easy, and it takes time. And so our team has been working very hard with that. We have an incredibly committed capital campaign cabinet that's led by Ken Stramiska. Paul Jaden is also a part of that. And they've just been doing an exceptional job with closing that gap. We've been working with the governor. He actually had an allocation in his budget. There were only 6 projects in the entire state. I think it was 6 that he had in his budget. That tells me the state really sees this is an important project here to Northeast Wisconsin. Unfortunately, all those projects were removed, all 6. So we're working through a different avenue right now to make that happen. And we feel pretty good about our path forward, which is why we went to the Redevelopment Authority in January, because we had to memorialize what was pretty obvious. And what was obvious was we were not opening next week. And so what the amendment to the development agreement did is really kind of, we were excited about it to sort of set out the path of this is how long it's going to take, we think, for all this to come together. Unfortunately, it kind of got spun as requesting another extension, and that's not really kind of the intent. We were actually approaching it as this is the timeline that we believe we're going to hit. And so over the next 3 months is when we're going to work to close our capital campaign. We're going to secure tax credits. We have a big grant in with the state where we're expecting a decision. And we have to renew all of our financing documents, all the things. It's just all the administrative work that goes along with something to really prepare for a closing. And new market tax credit deals take 3 months to close. So that's why you've got that amount of time. It's going to take 9 months for construction, another 2 months for tenant improvements. So the tenants that are going to move into the space need time to really build out their space, make it look like they want, and then of course a month of just soft opening. Gives us a little bit of cushion and buffer, but our objective is really to open this in 27. But to be clear, it is not green-lit yet, but the pieces are coming together for that. And what's that going to take? These are just numbers. Again, we want to be very transparent with where things are at and what it takes to do a project of this size. We do have about 1.3 million to raise in private equity yet. We are working with our new market tax credit consultant. We feel very bullish on that because it's a good project that folks want to invest these tax credits in. And then a couple of that state grant is tentative. So, but more importantly, we have contingency plans in place. So if any one of these sources doesn't come in, we have contingency plans that we can react to. And that's what makes this so hard, right? It's not black and white, because if you reduce the scope of your project, you might not be able to borrow as much, or you might not get as much in tax credits. So sometimes reducing the project by $1 million can actually create a $2 million gap for you. So that's why it's so hard when folks want to see it as black and white. Because it's 100 moving pieces that can go in any number of directions. And I've been incredibly proud of our team, who has been very resilient, working through very, very challenging circumstances to really get a successful outcome here for our community. And we know our community is excited about it because they tell us every single day when they say, when's it going to open? And I promise you that we are doing everything we can to expedite that as quickly as we can. And then this just shows a little bit of the uses on the other side of that budget, and just gives you a sense more of even a statement of cash flow of where money has come and gone so far. And again, this is all about providing transparency. We know the things that people say out there. We're not immune to that. And quite frankly, I think it hits our team more than it hits me. But this is a big burden to carry. But it's going to be an exciting, transformative project for our community. And we've seen other projects, not even this big, that have taken much longer. And the fact that we've been at this for a few years, we certainly want to wrap it up, but we've seen smaller projects, again, take a lot longer. And our reliance, let me rephrase that, the amount of philanthropic support that we've received from our community has been incredible. Similar projects with similar budgets in other communities have received far less funding from the philanthropic community. So that also tells me that our donors here locally are really excited to see this thing happen. So with that, let's turn it over to Mary, and then we are going to wrap this thing up. You want me to move this back?
All right. Thank you, Brian, very much. All right, just a quick additional thank you this morning to our event sponsors. And additionally, how was the food, you guys? Yeah? Awesome. Thank you so much to our amazing food providers this morning: Irish Temper, Voyager's Bakehouse, 5 Thumbs Up Cheesecake. Hopefully you are not leaving hungry. If you are, shame on you. Just all of our sponsors this morning. We certainly could not do this event without you. Many of the sponsors you see on this screen support several of our on-Broadway events throughout the year, and we are eternally grateful. Thank you to those who attended in person, and of course to those who joined us virtually as well. And before you get out of your seats, and before we conclude today, please join me in welcoming Eric Ledesma Barrero, Public Arts Coordinator for the City of Green Bay.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you so much for all of your support for the public arts on Broadway. Like mentioned, my name is Eric Ledesma Borrero. Sorry, I'm a little shivery because I'm still a little bit cold. It is an honor to introduce to you today Miriam Brabham. Miriam Brabham is an author, poet, and spoken word artist who has called Green Bay home for the past 6 years. During that time, she has built a deep-rooted creative and civic presence, performing at poetry nights and slams throughout Green Bay and Milwaukee, while finding her greatest fulfillment in community-centered workshops that invite people to write, reflect, and create together. Miriam is the author of 1,000 Apologies to Me, a collection of poetry, short stories, and reflections, which you can get on the way out today at the entrance. and co-writer of the play In Plain Sight, a pivotal project that demonstrates poetry's ability to engage a city in honest dialogue, reflection, and healing. That experience solidified her belief that poetry is not only art, but action, capable of bridging differences across age, culture, faith, gender, and identity. With a professional background spanning higher education, public service, and nonprofit leadership, Miriam brings culturally responsive leadership, trauma-informed facilitation, and data-driven program development to her creative work. She is a skilled collaborator and facilitator, known for building trust, fostering connection, and creating space where people see themselves reflected and empowered. Deeply invested in the well-being and creative future of Green Bay, Miriam is passionate about developing poetic projects and extend beyond single events, living works that grow alongside the city and the people who make it thrive. On a personal note, yesterday, I was at Howe Elementary, connecting with some administrators, talking about arts programming, and I was really pleasantly surprised to find out that Miriam is part of their steering committee for their annual program, Read Our Heart Out, an event that features guest authors to celebrate Black literature and inspire students to read. So thank you so much, Miriam, for your continued commitment to our city, to community, and thank you for inspiring us all. Without further ado, please welcome Green Bay's inaugural Poet Laureate, Miriam Brabham. Where's my friend?
Hello, everyone. Jesus, okay. Had to find the longest way up here because secretly I love all the applause. Thank you. That was a joke. Okay. All right. So happy Black History Month, everyone. And I want to start by reading a poem that I wrote to my students when I worked at the University of Wisconsin-Green Bay. You are the hope and the dream of the slave. You are the silent prayer of the mason and the maid. You are the dream continued. You are whispered wishes come true, living history held inside of you, wrapped up in your DNA, coiled in your curls. You are the promise of a new world. Though we have not yet prevailed, as long as we have you, we have not yet failed. So I'm a millennial, so I'm still on my phone. I'm working on it. This one is titled Writing Poetry. When I write poetry, the words float all around me. They fall down piece by piece. I watch them tumble onto the sheet. I can feel them air dry on lines that rhyme. The ink settles, leaving them side by side. Read them back with rhythmic pride. My pen becomes an extension. Ink meets paper, instant connection. Absorbing my intention, the weight of my words lay heavy on the page. Carving canyons for ink to fill. Leaving symbols, holding emotion still. I don't write poetry. I follow their will. I allow them to speak for me. Let them tell my story. They honor me, but I honor them too. I don't tell them what to do. They know my soul. They see my mind. They float through me and on the paper bind. They are not what I want. They are what I need. See, when I write poetry, it heals me. Surges through my body, searches for injury, uses words as recovery. See, when I write poetry, it's a necessity. It's beyond me, like blood in your body, it's a part of me. When I write poetry, I can feel those who came before me. I can hear those who will walk after me. I can better see who is standing beside me. Life can make you feel lonely, but poetry, makes you believe in possibility, surrounds you with beautiful energy. So when I write poetry, it's with everyone all around me. I am going to wrap us up with this piece here that I wrote recently for my inauguration, which was held at Lion's Mouth. And I just want to thank the City of Green Bay, the Public Arts Commission, the people that make this a great place to call home, a great place to work, a great place to visit when it's so much warmer. But when it's cold, it's the people that keep you warm. So I just want to thank all of you for all that you have done to make this award something I'm very proud of. This one is titled, Let Us. Let us resist the bait. Let us stand against what aims to break what we made. Let us celebrate each other's humanity. Let us stand in solidarity. Let us ignite the embers of our bravery. Let us write our own story. Let us weave a new tapestry. Let it include all of those who make this a community. Let us do what is right. Let us be the light. Let us not go easy. Let us not grow weary. Let us go forward in love, not hate. Let us be more than great. Let us not be blinded. Let us be reminded of what we preserve. Let us join together and not just observe. Let us not forget we are living history. Let us be who we are and not who we wish to be. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Miriam, for your beautiful words. Everyone have a great day.